Hello traders, on the beginning of this recap video for February 28, I would just like you to participate in this poll about recap videos. What kind of length would you like me to do? Now let's go to the chart. This is the chart that was posted before the open. This was the situation before the open. At around 8 a.m. market was testing main support. So pre-market move was down. This was the previous cash close here in the middle of this bigger range, and today was the 7th consecutive day that market stays inside this range. In the morning notes I covered this scenario. If we have breakdown, what kind of movement could we expect, and I said we could expect, and it would be really normal, I tweeted about that, for the market to bounce from main support, and then here for us to judge, is it going to be like a bounce to below 450 and then again attack and then breakdown. That didn't happen. Market stayed in the range. About opportunities for today, this here is really a school book opportunity, very easy one to catch, because market spent a few minutes time here, and right after the open you could catch it, or on this pullback to the main support zone. So right at the open you have the situation that market basically is opening at main support. So it is a no-brainer trade for you to attempt a long, and if you would be stopped and this turned out to be a real breakdown, you would jump to the short side later. But we will never short a support in in advance, so to speak, without any signs, and signs would be a shallow bounce, small bounce, and then it bounce and smaller high and smaller high and smaller high, and then you could attempt a short of the support, but not like this. So whenever you have this kind of situation, market is already was here about 0.75% down. So this entire pre-market session was to the downside, and market was exhausted into the main support. And now where to close this? If there is a chance for this to roll over, you could close here below 450 and attempt a short here. I did this trade and did this also, and in this short there was enough time for you to get out on break even if you like, or if you were holding, that would be a loser, of course. Then market tested previous cash close, which is additional alternative trade, not zone based. It's based on the first test of the cash close, and when you are using cash close as an entry point, it would be good that it is near or inside the zone. This today was not the case, but previous cash close was in the middle of the range, and whenever you have a decent size range, price can have troubles to go above the middle of it, and you can use that middle also as a target. If you are going long from here, you can also use this middle of the range and previous cash close as a target. So this is a smaller target, this is bigger target. And again, this is a range when market spends plenty of days, now 7th day, and you could use edges of the zone. So this is on 1 hour. Look how small this main support zone looks on the 4-hour chart. But what is important here, this is a range, and you can use edges of the range also for swing trades, and then target is another edge of the range. So from here shorting, you are targeting this, and if you want to hold your trades, if you are just day trading, then you will go zone to zone until we get a momentum. So this trade here didn't provide much, just like 20 points, maybe a few points more. And when you see this testing and testing and testing, then you should really close that trade, because market is going up from the main support level. So now at this time here, when after this second test, it is almost 1 p.m. and by 1 p.m. you should really ask yourself, is this the low of the day? Because if this is a low of the day, then the whole ATR could be to the upside, and ATR now is 146 points. Here's the ATR. So from here at 1 a.m. you could say to yourself, okay, they could go maybe all the way to the main resistance zone again, and that is why you should really close here. And you could attempt also first test of this zone for short. It would be a valid attempt, but this attempt would most certainly be a break-even or a scratch. Do not allow to lose here, because market provided pullbacks good enough for you to at least exit on a break-even. You know, don't be stubborn here, because market could go a bit higher and then maybe make a pullback. And US market also, you know, pretty strong so far. So that is it for this edition of DAX recap videos. This here was really a low-hanging fruit. Market opening right at the main support. Whenever markets opening at support, it would be logical to expect a bounce, and it was a good size move to the downside. So it was exhaustion into the main support at the open. So basically a no-brainer long here. That is it for this edition of DAX recap video. I wish you good evening and good trading.